Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new paper crafting video. Today I am featuring brand new products from the Trinity Stamps release, a very cute Insta Snap camera, and this is part of a hop with the design team from Trinity Stamps. Check out all the details below to enter to win our giveaway for some free shopping at the Trinity Stamps shop. Today I am playing with this new stamp set called My One and Gnomely. It is a 4x6 set. It's got 4 main images of gnomes and they're so super cute. Here's all the Copic markers I used to color up these images, and you can pause this right here if you want to replicate anything, but there you can see what they look like colored up and all the what are they called? Sentiments stamped up. I am taping down my dies and die cutting out all the things because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to use and what I wasn't going to use. So I thought, first time I'm using it, I'm going to stamp out all the things. Here is that Insta Snap camera die set. You can see the cute camera that it makes, but I'm going to make one a little bit different for my card today because I'm going to turn this into a shaker. So here's the die cut pieces I used. There's a die that cuts out 4 different things, and I cut it from a bunch of different colors so I can have my buttons and things be different. And then there is 2 different ring dies. This one right here is from the largest die. I'm gluing that onto a piece of window sheet. I'm going to let that dry while I put together some of the other parts. So for today's camera, I am completely obsessed with this glitter fun foam from Spellbinders. It's die cuttable. It doesn't shed glitter. Love it. I'm using it all the time on all the things in lots of colors. So I thought it'd be fun to put it on this camera. I also chose to do some accents of holographic paper on the camera. I thought that would be really fun for like this glass parts, like the flash or this little viewfinder. I just thought it would be really fun. So I added that, and then it was time to work on the shaker part. So I am cutting away the excess window sheet from around that circle, and then I happen to have some regular fun foam, you know, from the craft store in my stash that had adhesive on the back. So I die cut that largest ring from it twice, and I'm putting that on the back to build up my area for my shaker bits, to make my, you know, shaker tall, wide, all the things. So this black circle actually comes when you die cut out that largest ring. So I die cut it from the glossy black cardstock from Trinity Stamps and glued that in place using the outer ring as a guide. Now these coffee date embellishment mix, this is brand new. It has little coffee cups in it. I didn't want those for my camera, but I loved all the other bits and thought they would be really cool for today's shaker. So I just picked out the little coffee cups. They're super cute. I'm going to save them back in the bag with the rest of it for another time. I let that dry, and then I'm adding on the inner ring to this camera lens, which if you're doing a shaker, you could totally leave off, but I liked that extra detail. And then I added the little shine mark, that tinier circle there in holographic paper. I'm going to set that aside and work on my Insta picture. I decided to use the gnomes that are kissing. They're just too cute to resist. I'm also using some pixie dust iridescent ink there to splatter on. It's from Ink on 3, and then I gave the back that background a little bit of interest that I thought it needed. Then I'm going to add the XOXO. This teeny tiny sentiment is from that My One and Gnomely stamp set, and you can see why I added the gnomes to that black piece before adding the frame is because they hang off just ever so slightly off the edge, and you want it to look like, you know, a picture was taken of them, so part of it would be cut off. I added a sentiment to the white part that says, "You're my one and gnomely," of course. And there's the 2 finished pieces. I'm going to set them aside while I work on that background. I'm going to end up putting this onto an A7 size card. So my background piece right here is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So when I put this on my card base, it will have a nice little border all the way around. So I took some lumberjack plaid ink and I ink blended just over half the panel because I want the 2 colors to meet and blend in the middle. So my second color is Kitsch Flamingo. I just wanted a really Valentine-y like background. Now most of my background is not going to be visible with that camera and the picture on top of it. but I just have fun doing it. So I made my own background and I wanted to give this background kind of a bokeh effect. So you'll see how I do that. There's going to be lots of layers, which I love doing. First layer is some water from my distress sprayer where I kind of pulled the trigger in little squeezes so that I would get those bigger splatters. You can see that you know the word. You're saying it right now when I can't. I picked up the excess water with a paper towel, and now I'm bringing in this cheesy background stencil. Now I have made a card with this where I stenciled this as cheese, and it's awesome. However, when I was doing that, I thought you could really use this stencil to create that bokeh effect where there's little like light fragments, that look is really fun for pictures. And so this is such a fun background to go with that Insta camera. So I'm doing that with white ink and I'm using a blending brush, but you see I'm tapping it. That's because I don't want to pick up too much of the ink that's behind it because I'm re-wetting that pink ink. So I was really careful adding that. I also added some more of that pixie dust splatter, and that's going to finish off the background. So I can add on my camera and my picture, and they're so very cute. So I'm adding the black piece first, making sure I have it where I want it, and then the frame, which by the way, this frame, I die cut it from some white lightweight chipboard that was shiny on one side. It's like from some packaging, and I felt like it really made it have that look and feel of an instant picture. All right, so now I have my say, and you can see in this set it says say cheese, which goes perfectly with the camera. However, we have simply sentimental kisses, and I thought say kisses would make people like laugh when you're trying to get their picture and just really go with my kissy kissy gnomes. So you can see here I am sticking my die that has the detailed word on it right to that shadow layer. That's because I backed the paper with some rip and stick sheets so they're adhesive on the back. The word will stay stuck in the die, and then you can press that onto your shadow layer and it transfers right onto it for you. Easy peasy. I love this tip from Lauren, who's also on the Trinity Stamps design team, and I'm using it all the time now that I got that idea from her. All right, I am adding another new embellishment mix. Look at these fun baubles. They're pink with like an iridescent pink shine to them. So very cool. We have tons of new embellishments in the shop. They actually were in the shop as of last month. So if you haven't seen those yet, check them out. New baubles, new confetti pieces, new clay mixes, so many fun things. I mean, there was probably over 50 new embellishments. All right, I am bringing out the new Insider Sentiments for Valentine's Day to stamp a sentiment for the inside of my card. So you can see here, it is a long sentiment. It says, I just wanted to let you know that you are loved today and every day. And this is the coordinating die set to die cut out these sentiments. Of course, you can use it for anything, but it has this die that cuts out the sentiment in just like an kind of elliptical shape, a little oval, and then it also die cuts out a little frame, so you can add that on or leave it off, but it adds a really fun detail. And then you've got your speech bubble that you can mount that on top of, so they're made to layer. Very cool die set. I'm going to add this little gnome girl on the inside, and on her heart I put that little tiny sentiment that says mwah. So I thought it really went with this card and the sentiment that I added there as well. Okay, another new die set. This is the mini swirling or heart swirl die. So we had one previously that was slimline. I flashed that on the screen. And then this one came out in a smaller size. So it can fit on an A2 size card or a mini slimline, or of course an A7 card. And I die cut the shadow layer from this like extra panel I'm adding to the inside of the card. Then I die cut the heart swirl itself, and I'm inlaying that into the opening, and I think it is so awesome. I felt so clever adding this to the top panel, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I want to put it on every card now. So that finishes up my shaker card. I think it was so much fun to make. I love over the top with shiny and bling and glitter and all the things. So I had so much fun making that. I stamped out another saying that says, I hope your heart is full of love and your mouth is full of chocolate. And I'm going to make a little treat box. Now, you may recognize this box if you've ever purchased any of the Blending Buddy brushes from Trinity Stamps. They come in this little clear box. And I happened to save them because I thought they were so cool, and I'm making a little treat box out of them. So I'm going to score this at about 1 7/8. The box is just under 2 inches, so you want to do your scored lines accordingly, which is 1 7/8 of an inch. And I scored it 3 times. I have a little flap left over that I'm going to use as my piece that I adhere the whole thing to, but I am using rip and stick tape in 1/4 of an inch size to adhere this to the box all the way around. And I went with gold because the little candy I'm putting in there has gold accents. I took a strip of heavy weight window sheet. I have had this forever. I'm not sure where it came from, but it's very sturdy. And I adhered that to the back of the box so I could still open and shut this. And that's where I'm going to put that sentiment that I stamped out. But first we need to fill this up with my Lindt chocolates there. And that was really full and didn't have room for this one, so I better save that one for me. And now I'm going to add my sentiment onto the balloon that this gnome is holding that says, love you. And I added that with a glue dot so it would pop up just a tiny little bit. And then I'll pop up the gnome onto the box with some foam squares. I'm adding some ribbon just going under the lip of the lid. And then I'm going to tie this in like a flat knot. And then I did trim off the ends just kind of at an angle, but later I'm going to go back and trim them differently. I thought I wanted long ribbon tails so it would hang down the side of the box, and then in the end I changed my mind. So you'll see me change that out in a minute. But here's where I'm adding the sentiment with a little rip and stick tape right to that strip of acetate that's very thick, and so it's going to be held up really well. I folded my ribbon in half and cut on the fold at an angle, and that's what's going to create this little like bird beak type finish on the end of the bow. I love that look. All right, so the last thing is I die cut a second piece of that speech bubble and glued it to the back to give it a more finished off look. So that finishes off my little treat that can go with my card, or it's a really fun thing you could like set on the table for somebody for a special Valentine's meal, or just to like brighten their day during what I like to call Valentine's season. It starts on February 1st in my book. And, you could do lovely little gifts throughout those 2 weeks leading up to Valentine's Day like that. So thank you for stopping by. And now it is time that you hop along with the other designers and see more inspiration from this January release at Trinity Stamps. Be sure you comment along the way for a chance to win a gift certificate to the Trinity Stamp shop. And check us out on Instagram. We've got another hop over there. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below, as well as to this new release. And I will see you very soon on the next video. Happy stamping! Bye!